Hello everybody, and a very good day from Little Haldon, which is an area of moorland and hills just outside Teignmouth, just on the boundary of the Teignmouth and the Dawlish parish. Why am I here on this very dreich day, as my friends up north of the border would say? It's very dark, it's windy, it's misty, it's quite spooky actually. So why am I here? Well, we're going to see if we can find the Mad Monk. I'll tell you more in a second. First of all, we've got to find it. What are we looking for? The haunted chapel. Come with me. I need your company, please. So I'm not entirely sure where I'm going, to be honest with you. I've got a bit of a map. I've got some information. But at the moment I'm on a little footpath going through the trees on the edge of the moors. Are we in the right direction? We'll find out in a second, won't we? It's very pretty though. Look how autumnal it looks. And there is literally nobody around. Lovely views, look at this. I'll tell you why we're here in a second. Are you intrigued? Will I survive this trip? Will the Mad Monk get me? Well, we'll find out in a second. So why are we here? We're looking for the Mad Monk, and we're looking for the haunted chapel, which hides away. Not many people know where this place is. It's called Lidwell Chapel. We're looking for the Mad Monk of Haldon. Now the story is, Lidwell Chapel supposedly dates back to the 14th century and is built on the site of a holy well dedicated to Our Lady, hence the corruption over time to Lidwell. I see, very clever. Well, according to a traditional tale entitled The Legend of Lidwell Chapel, recounted in 1850, a monk named Simon lived there around the year 1560. Now he killed travellers who were on their way into Teignmouth, stashed their wares and threw their bodies down the well, until one day he was himself fatally wounded by one of his potential victims. And the story goes that the last person he tried to steal from was stronger than him, and he himself got thrown down the well. Now, the ruins of the chapel are still there. They're reputed to be haunted. Today is very dark. I'm a little bit nervous because, to be honest with you, we don't have a lot of daylight left, but I thought it looks spooky enough. It's dreich enough today for us to give it a go. I'm on my own as well, so this may well be my last video, but let's see if we can find it first. I can see a public footpath off to our left here. I think this is the way we need to go. It's actually gorgeous up here, and it's the first time, and I've lived in Devon now for 6.5 years, it's the first time that I've ever actually been up here. And this, would you believe, is literally what, 2.5 miles from our house. Crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely gorgeous. And with it being so misty and murky, it sort of gives it the atmosphere. And I think this path in front of us here is the way to the haunted chapel. Still heading down this path and heading downhill. You can see the valley in front of us. That's the Lidwell Valley. It stretches all the way to the back of Dawlish. Absolutely gorgeous, a little farm way the way down there, some sheep on the hill. Now apparently if I keep going down here, I come into the edge of a field, and then there will be a copse of trees on the left and a very hard to find little gate, which apparently is the entrance to the Mad Monk's lair. So let's see if we can find it. I'm still not entirely sure if I'm in the right place, but we'll find out. Well, this is half an hour later and I'm still not there. I can't find this path. I don't know where it is. The other path just seemed to take us totally in the wrong direction. So I've been trying to follow Google Maps, which is as much use as a chocolate teapot. So I'm now in the middle of a field of sort of dead heather and ferns, and I've tried to get through. I'm just literally a couple of 100 yards above the chapel and I can't find it. So I think this may be a fail, I'm afraid. Perhaps I should have researched it a bit better. But anyway, I'll keep trying for a few more minutes and I'll let you know how I get on. Aha! Now I think this is looking more promising, because there was talk about going through the gates and into a field. So I think I may be on the right track now. Let's just see if we can get around this gate. It's probably private land, but we'll have a go. Aha! Well, there's Lidwell Farm in the distance. Isn't it beautiful though? Absolutely gorgeous. I think the gate to the chapel is down there on the left. So wish me luck. Well, this is proving to be a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was a straightforward path. Far from that, but I think we're getting close. Just in the background here, through the trees, there's some railings. All I've got to do is to find out how to get to them. I think we're nearly there. I think this may not be a fail after all, guys. It's looking very, very boggy under here. Let's just get through this gate. Oh, it's squidgy. Now then, what we got here? This is looking promising. Mad Monk, I'm coming to get you. Oh yeah. Look at this. Here we are. Right, in we go. It's very wet underfoot. Now where's the Mad Monk? So here we are. Lidwell Chapel. I don't think there's much left of it. In fact, I think this is probably about it. But this is where all the action happened back in the 1500s. What's through here? Let's have a look. Nothing, just the rear entrance. It is spooky. It is really spooky. So where's this well that all these people, and then eventually the Mad Monk himself, were thrown down? What do you reckon? There is one heck of an atmosphere here. Now, I don't know if you believe in the supernatural or ghosts or all that sort of stuff, but wow, the atmosphere is heavy. Maybe it's just me because I've built it up. But it's certainly a spooky place. You can imagine, 500 years ago nearly, a monk living here on his own. Apparently he was thrown out by the other monks off their monastery because he was a bad un, and he lived here on his own. Lidwell Chapel. Now let's see if we can find this well. I believe it's actually been filled in now, but apparently it was right in the corner of the plot. So probably under here somewhere. Ooh. I've got some more to tell you about the chapel in a second. Well, I'm just going to read for you. It says, it's unclear if the story is grounded, but in fact the legend does well. In fact, it indicates a curiosity of the connection between the paranormal and watery places in the mind of the average Devonian in days gone by. It's also worth pointing out that there are still to this very day rumours of dark, shadowy figures drifting the heath nearing the neighbouring farm, which are supposedly the wraths of Simon's victims returning to claim their robbed gold, which the wicked monk reputedly hoarded in a secret chest under the altar at the chapel. There's another bit here. Now this is spooky. It'll be interesting to see how this comes out. Is there anybody behind me? I think I'm on my own. It's definitely spooky. There's a photographer from Bristol who travelled to the ruins in the 1970s and took some photos. When one of the photos was later developed, he was shocked to discover that instead of showing the chapel in ruins, as you can see here, hopefully, the photo instead showed the chapel intact, as it would have looked in the 14th century. And that, apparently, is true. The light's getting very dim. Might just get out of here while I'm still in one piece. Now let's have another look round, shall we? I'm determined to find something really spooky for you. Shall we have a look round the side? See if there's any mud monks. Oh my goodness, and it's just sunk into about a foot of mud there. Oh, it's all in my shoes now. Anything around here? Ah, now there's a stream here, or the remains of one. I wonder if this could be something that fed the well. So the well would probably have been just up here. Not easy walking around here when you're 6'2". Yeah. Now, just getting a bit closer to the building itself, which is here. Look at that. They should do a horror film here, shouldn't they? I reckon the well would have been around here somewhere. There's definitely a dip there by the tree. Just think, if the rumours are true, bodies of many, many travellers who are plying their way to sunny Teignmouth to go and sit on the beach, only to be trapped by this lunatic monk, dragged to his chapel, robbed of their gold and thrown down the well. It was a tough life, wasn't it, in those days? I reckon it was there, because there's a stream here and it leads up to here, and apparently the well itself has been filled in, but look at this. Definitely an atmosphere here. Light is going. I think it's almost time for me to go. Would I be pushing my luck staying here any longer? Let's just go and have one more look, shall we? Now, there is another version of the story that goes back 200 years. A monk by the name of Robert de Middlecote moved to this chapel in around 1325 after he was accused of the attempted murder of Agnes, the daughter of a local miller, and also 3 charges of robbery. He denied the charges and claimed that the robberies were carried out for the benefit of the ecclesiastical community. Well, the legend goes that he was once a caring monk, driven mad by the solitude, but this was most likely not the case, and it was probably his state of mind upon arrival because he'd been chucked out of the monastery. During the day he kept his facade up, but at night he went out in search of travellers and offered food and shelter for the night. The travellers, exhausted, starving, and seeing that it was a monk, gladly took up such an offer and were treated to a hot meal. However, this meal was laced with a narcotic that caused them to become semi-conscious, upon which the monk then killed them with a knife, robbed them of any valuables, and dumped their body into the well. Now, this part of the legend is apparently true because it's been confirmed by reports after the well was inspected and was found to contain many bodies, including several women and children. After several years of this, Robert de Middlecote was to meet his match. A sailor accepted the monk's hospitality, and during his stay whilst in Pair, he saw the monk preparing to pounce with the knife. He blocked the attack, and in the ensuing fight, Robert was pushed down the well. Shocked, the sailor ran out to the nearby farm for help, and both hauled the monk out. Surprisingly, the monk survived the fall. According to legend, though, he died minutes afterwards within the desperate grasp of his ill-gotten gains. However, according to the historical records, Robert de Middlecote was executed on the gallows at Exeter in 1329. Well, what do you reckon? Did you enjoy our visit to Lidwell Chapel? I've got to get back yet. I think we better set off, haven't we? Come on then, let's go. Got to get through this mud bath first. I've got very muddy walking boots. Ooh. Well, ooh. Oh, did you hear that squelch? Anyway, thank you, Mad Monk, for not throwing me down the well. And sorry for calling you mad, by the way. Shall we find a way out? Ooh. Oh. Looks like we're back into civilization. Well, sort of. As civilized as it gets around here. There's the farm down there that they were talking about in the distance. Lidwell Farm, that is. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? It's a very rarely visited part of this area. Probably because most of it's private farmland. That valley runs all the way down to the back end of Dawlish. In fact, we are now, despite the fact I'm only just outside Teignmouth. Teignmouth's literally just over that hill. The golf course is literally just up here. Apparently, we're in Dawlish Parish here. Anyway, thank you, Lidwell. Thank you, Mad Monk. Let's go. So here we are. We've survived. I tell you what, it's a good climb back up that hill. Whew. I need to get myself fit. You wouldn't believe I was a postie, would you? Anyway, we survived the Mad Monk of Lidwell Chapel on Little Haldon Moor. We got away to tell the story, but the question is, When I put this picture online, when I develop these shots, will it show the chapel as it was in the 14 and 1500s? Maybe there is time yet for the mad monk to get his revenge. Have a good rest of your day, guys. See you soon for the next one. Bye. Now, which was the way out? That way.